What if I told you that your first $100,000 is worth more than every dollar you'll ever save after it? That sounds crazy, right? Like something a motivational poster would say. But this isn't motivation. This is mathematics. Most people grind for years, working overtime, skipping vacations, eating sad desk lunches, and they still feel like they're going nowhere. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why your first $100,000 changes everything. The psychology behind it, the math behind it, and the specific moves Jason and you need to make to get there. Let me introduce you to Jason. Jason is 28 years old. He has a decent job. He makes around $55,000 a year. After taxes, that's about $3,800 a month hitting his bank account. Sounds workable, right? Rent, $1,200. Car payment, $350. Groceries, $400. Utilities, $150. Phone, $80. Subscriptions he forgot he signed up for, $60. That's $2,240 gone before he's even thought about fun. So he saves $400 a month. Maybe $500 on a good month. He skips the fancy coffee. He meal preps on Sundays. He's doing everything right. After 1 year of this discipline, he has $5,400 saved. After 2 years, $10,800. At that rate, his first $100,000 is 18 and a half years away. He'll be 46 years old. And here's the part nobody talks about. Even at 46, having $100,000 saved isn't actually the problem. The problem is that most people never understand what that $100,000 can actually do for them. They save it. They protect it. They're almost afraid of it, when what they should be doing is putting it to work. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, let's understand why this number, $100,000, is so different from all the others. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's partner for decades, once said that getting to your first $100,000 is a balk. And he was right. But he didn't just mean it's hard. He meant something specific. Below $100,000, your savings rate matters more than anything else. Above $100,000, your returns start to matter more than your savings rate. Let me make that concrete. If you have $10,000 saved and you earn a 10% return, that's $1,000. But if you save an extra $500 that month, that's $500 more. Way more impactful than the return. Now flip it. You have $100,000 saved. Same 10% return. That's $10,000. That $10,000 return is more than 2 months of saving $500. This is the inflection point. This is why everything changes. And today, I'm going to show you 5 things that fundamentally shift when you cross that $100,000 mark. Let's talk about compounding. You've heard of it, but I don't think you've truly felt it. Here's Jason's situation. He's saved $10,000. He invests it in an index fund averaging 10% per year. Year 1, $11,000. Year 2, $12,100. Now let's jump 10 years ahead, without adding a single extra dollar. That $10,000 is now $25,937. It more than doubled. Cool, right? Now let's do the same thing with $100,000. Year 1, $110,000. Already, the first year alone produced more than that entire $10,000 starting balance. 10 years later, your $100,000 is now $259,374. You made $159,374 in gains, without working a single extra hour. But here is where it gets truly insane. Let's look at what happens between year 20 and year 30. Year 20, $672,749. Year 30, $1,744,940. Between year 20 and year 30, your money grew by over $1 million. But between year 0 and year 10, it only grew by $159,000. Same money, same return, same decade of waiting. But the later decade produces 6 times more wealth. This is why the first $100,000 is a launch pad, not a destination. Because once you're at $100,000, time becomes your most powerful asset, not your income, not your discipline. time. Before $100,000, a market dip feels like a disaster. Your portfolio drops 10%. And if you had $8,000 saved, that's $800 gone. $800 is a car payment. It's 2 weeks of groceries. It feels real. So what does Jason do? He panics. He sells. And he locks in that loss. Permanently. This is called emotional investing. And it kills more wealth than any market crash ever could. But now? Imagine Jason has $100,000 invested. Same 10% market dip. That's a $10,000 paper loss. But Jason has been investing long enough to understand something crucial. Market dips are normal. Market recoveries are also normal. In fact, since 1928, the S&P 500 has recovered from every single major crash. So instead of panicking, Jason sees the dip as something else entirely. He sees it as a sale. At $100,000, you have enough of a cushion that a 10% drop doesn't threaten your lifestyle. It doesn't affect your rent, your groceries, your car payment. This changes how you invest. You become a long-term investor. Not a trader, not a gambler. And long-term investors, historically, win. Here's a thought experiment. What if you had an employee who worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never took vacation, never asked for a raise, and put every penny they earned back into your pocket? That employee is $100,000 invested in the market. At a conservative 7% average annual return, adjusted for inflation, your $100,000 generates $7,000 a year. That's $583 a month. Every day, whether Jason works or not, his portfolio is generating nearly $20. He's literally making money in his sleep. Now here's where this becomes really powerful. At $10,000 invested, your passive income is $700 a year, $58 a month. That's not nothing. But it doesn't change your life. At $100,000, $583 a month. That's a utility bill, a car payment, a month of groceries. Your investments are starting to pay for your life. And remember, that $7,000 a year isn't being spent. It's being reinvested, which means next year, you're not earning 7% on $100,000. You're earning it on $107,000. This is the snowball effect. And it only starts rolling once you have enough snow. The first $100,000 is the snow. The market is the hill. And time is gravity. There's something that doesn't show up in any spreadsheet. It's the way you feel when you cross $100,000. Before 100K, money is a source of anxiety. Every unexpected expense feels like a crisis. Car breaks down, crisis. Medical bill, crisis. Roof leaks, crisis. When you live crisis to crisis, you make bad financial decisions. You take the first job offer instead of negotiating. You can't afford to wait. But watch what changes at $100,000. That $400 car repair? It's annoying, not a crisis. An inconvenience. And that changes everything about how you move through the world. You negotiate your salary because you could survive 3 months without this job if needed. You leave the toxic job. You start the side project. You take the calculated risk. Financial security isn't just about money. It's about options. And $100,000 is the number where your options dramatically expand. Research from Klontz and Low Rance, money psychologists, shows that financial anxiety peaks when people have less than $10,000 in savings. And that anxiety directly reduces cognitive function. You literally cannot think as clearly when you're broke. Which means climbing out of financial stress makes you better at everything, not just investing. Okay, we've talked about why $100,000 changes everything. Now let's talk about how Jason and you get there. There are 3 levers you can pull, and pulling all 3 simultaneously is how you get there faster than you think. Lever 1. Increase your income. Most people try to save their way to $100,000, but saving alone has a ceiling. Your income is the engine. The bigger the engine, the faster you get there. Ask for a raise. Get a certification. Start a side hustle. Switch jobs for a 15% bump. A 15% income increase on a $55,000 salary is an extra $8,250 a year. That's $687 extra every single month. That single move cuts years off your journey to $100,000. Lever 2. Ruthlessly cut expenses. Jason goes through every single monthly expense and asks one question about each. Does this move me closer to $100,000 or further away? Rent? Necessary. Keep it. Car payment? Necessary for work. Keep it. Groceries? Necessary, but optimizable. Subscriptions you forgot you signed up for? Gone. Every $100 a month you cut is $200 a year going toward your goal instead. Cut 3 subscriptions, downgrade your phone plan, bring lunch twice a week. That could be $300 a month, $30,600 a year. And here is the one that trips most people up. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, your income goes up. So your spending goes up too. And suddenly the raise changes nothing. The antidote is simple. When your income goes up, your savings rate goes up. Your lifestyle stays flat. Lever 3. Invest the difference automatically. The word automatically is doing a lot of work in that sentence. When you automate your investments, you remove the single biggest threat to your wealth: yourself. Set up an automatic transfer on payday, before you can spend it, into an index fund or brokerage account. The money moves before you even see it, out of sight, out of mind, into your future. Now let's put all 3 levers together and see what happens to Jason's timeline. Before, saving $400 a month, 18.5 years to $100,000. After all 3 levers, saving $200 a month. Just under 7 years. Same person, same job, same city. 3 strategic moves. 11.5 years back in your life. Time you could spend with family, building something, traveling, living on your own terms. That is what the first $100,000 unlocks. Not just wealth, not just security. Time, options, freedom. But wait, what if you're starting late? What if you have debt? What if the market crashes right after you hit $100,000? First, what if you're starting late? What if you're 35, 40, even 45? Here's the truth. The best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. A 40-year-old who hits $100,000 at 47 still has 18 years of compounding before the traditional retirement age of 65. At 10% average returns, that $100,000 becomes $560,000 by age 65, without adding another dollar. Second edge case. What if you have debt? Should you pay it off first or invest? The rule of thumb. If your debt interest rate is above 7%, pay it off first. Below 7%, invest while you pay it down. The average credit card interest rate right now is over 20%. That is not an investment competitor. That is a financial emergency. Pay off high-interest debt aggressively. Then redirect every dollar straight into investments. Third edge case. What if the market crashes right after you hit $100,000? Remember, a crash doesn't destroy your $100,000. It temporarily reprices it. The S&P 500 has never, in its entire history, failed to recover and reach new all-time highs. A crash right after $100,000 is not bad luck. It's a buying opportunity wearing a scary costume. Pro tip: once you hit $80,000, keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account as a buffer. This buffer means a market crash never forces you to sell investments to cover living expenses. Pro tip 2. Tax-advantaged accounts are your best friends on the journey to $100,000. Every dollar in a 401k or Roth IRA either reduces your taxable income or grows completely tax-free. In 2024, you can contribute $23,000 to a 401k and $7,000 to a Roth IRA. That's $30,000 a year in tax-advantaged space. If your employer offers a 401k match, take every single penny of it. That is a 100% instant return on your money. Free money. Take it. Pro tip 3. Track your net worth monthly. Not to obsess, but to stay connected to the mission. Seeing the number grow, even slowly, rewires your brain to associate saving with progress instead of sacrifice. And the closer you get to $100,000, the more momentum you feel, and the faster the last stretch goes. Psychologists call this the goal gradient effect. We naturally accelerate as we get closer to a finish line. Use that. Put the number somewhere you can see it. A phone widget, a sticky note, a whiteboard. Make the goal visible. Make it real. Make it impossible to ignore. All right, let's bring it all home. Here are your 5 key takeaways from today. Number 1. The first $100,000 is a launch pad, not a destination. The math fundamentally flips at that number. Number 2. Your risk relationship transforms. You stop panic selling and start seeing dips as opportunities. Number 3. Your money gets a job. At $100,000, your portfolio generates $583 a month, passively. Number 4. Your mindset and your options expand dramatically. You gain the power to negotiate, wait, and choose. Number 5. The 3 levers. More income, lower expenses, automatic investing. Get you there faster than you ever thought possible. So here's your action step for today. Just 1. Open your banking app right now and calculate your exact current net worth. Assets minus liabilities. Write the number down. That number, whatever it is your starting line, not your finish line. Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this video helped you see money differently today, hit that like button right now. It helps more people find this video, people who need to hear this exact message today. And subscribe if you haven't already. We post every week on exactly this kind of content. Every week we break down one big financial concept, in plain English, with no jargon, no fluff. Next week we're covering something that trips up almost everyone who makes it to $100,000, what to do with it after you get there. Most people get to $100,000 and make one of 3 critical mistakes that costs them years of progress. You do not want to miss that one. Trust me. Until then, I'm Jason, and I'll see you next week.